This is not my cup. This is not my cup. I'm really digging this song. It's gonna get this video taken down. It's called California Nights by Best Coast. What? Alexa, shush. So I'm going to talk about just some stuff that's went down today, because some serious stuff went down today. Life changing. Well, at least I've altered the trajectory of my life for the immediate future. Long term, who knows? But I thought I'd just address the Euphrates River, because I'd mentioned it in my previous video. And as I was thinking about making a video today, I thought, maybe I should go ahead and make that like genuine attempt to debunk preterism. But then I thought to myself, I can't in good conscience make that video, because it'd be tricky to do. Because all it's going to be is saying, oh, all these things that are supposed to have taken place, didn't take place. Like, they take place in the future. It's just like a rundown, like a checklist. Basically, I'd be doing of things that, haven't actually happened in the first century. That's the kind of arguments I'd be making as a futurist, which they just don't really stand up to scrutiny. And you'll find that here with the Euphrates River idea. So this river's supposed to dry up, and it hasn't dried up. And so if it hasn't dried up, then the prophecy's not been fulfilled. And so everything is to happen in the future. Of course, the error in thinking here is that what you've done is you've isolated a couple of lines of verse, and you've completely shorn them from the context of the first century fulfillment of all things, which I've went on about at length here. Luke 21:22, Luke 21:8. Is it Matthew 10:26? I sometimes mix that one up. There's people standing here who shall not pass away till the Son of Man comes in his kingdom. All this kind of stuff, right? So we understand that it all took place in the first century. So how did the Euphrates River dry up? Okay. Context is key. In order to examine in detail the scope of Revelation 16:12-14, one first has to ask, is the context literal or figurative? This is not the same question as real or imaginary or literal or metaphorical. We're asking if the language in its historical grammatical sense actually communicates the meaning, or is it representative of another reality? The Euphrates River is the boundary of the land God promised to the descendants of Abraham, Genesis 15:18. And the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, unto thy seed I have given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Therefore, the river Euphrates, I might be saying that wrong, the Euphrates must be considered as the border to this covenant land. Therefore, whoever trespasses this boundary is seen as one doing harm to the nation of Israel. But before one proceeds to a literal interpretation of this event, let's look at the rest of the passage in context. So the water drying up. If the context is telling us of a future event, the drying up of water poses no significant challenge for a modern army, nor can be seen as one engaging the entire earth. The Euphrates was forded up by previous empires making their conquest, but was not seen as any major obstacle. Therefore, the understanding of what drying up the Euphrates must be representative of something. And point 2, 3 spirits like frogs out of the mouth of the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet. Since frogs are representative of unclean animals, the dragon is representative of Satan, the beast and the false prophet are also representative. Therefore, the context must be understood figuratively. So I can see what that person's getting at there, Historically, the Euphrates is the border of the covenant land. So, to say it's drying up is to say that there's access into it, or you could see it as like the covenant opening up to the world. In another place it says here, With respect to the Euphrates River, biblically we can think of it as a semi symbolic line between good and bad. West of the Euphrates River, we have the land of Israel, where historically the Israelites lived. We consider them to be good since they were the chosen of God to bring his message to the world. East of the Euphrates River, we primarily have the land of Babylonia, and Babylon was a heathen nation full of idolatrous practices and certainly symbolic of Satan. Biblically speaking, when the Euphrates dries up, essentially the line between good and bad becomes blurred and or is ignored. Sorry, no longer present. In the great book of Timothy, we are told in the last days men would become wicked and right would be turned wrong. 2 Timothy 3 1 to 7. That makes sense, doesn't it? So, in 5 minutes, we've come to understand that the drying up of the Euphrates has a spiritual or symbolic significance. And I can leave it there, can't I? Because I don't need to harp on about that. That's the Euphrates River dealt with in the first 6 minutes of the video. Um, okay, so I'll move on to the earth-shattering circumstances of today. No, it's just it's been a I made my video last. I don't know if it's the last video I made where I spoke about how I felt my current job was an impediment to who I want to be, to the kind of person I want to be. I want to be a more liberated person. I want to be able to pursue my spirituality and just without the restrictions of the day to day kind of robbing me from that kind of focus. Um, I just want to exist. I just want to be happy, and I felt like this job right now and all the circumstances surrounding me was making this incredibly difficult. So today I went in with a mind of saying, you know what, that's me done. Like that is it. And I got to the point where I got into work, but I got in a little bit too late, and it was still early, but it was too late to say my piece. I had to convey a certain message to the management, but they were busy, and then they were coming into my class to help model some things, and I was like, oh man, I just want to tell this person I'm out. It's just that horrible feeling of feeling trapped, and then all that sense of obligation as well, and I just felt like, nah, I don't want to be here, and I feel trapped, and I hate that I feel trapped. I just want to get out. So I had to go through the motions of the day. And when someone would ask me how I'm feeling, you just feel obliged to tell them, ups and downs, haha. But inside you're like, I genuinely despair of life. No, I don't. I don't like this place. I don't want to be in this place anymore. So I basically um, came to terms with that. And then as I was sitting there thinking it all through, I got a text message. Now, I was telling you about this Mormon Italian person that I was having a little bit of excitement with in my life, seeing different things. I think, yeah, that was heading down the lines of a relationship. And she told me today that she didn't want to see me anymore. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's okay. And then I cried. No, I didn't. But I was like, okay, whatever. Um, I don't know. It made me a wee bit sad because she'd introduced me to all of her friends and stuff like that, and she seemed so lovely and nice. I will be honest, a lot of the interaction between us was quite flat and one dimensional. When you're in someone's presence and you just don't know what to do and you don't really get a sense of comfort from it. And those other relationships where you feel like you can just kind of sit back and chill and you're all right with someone. Well, this was very much the latter. Oh, sorry. This was just a it was never a good situation. Anyways, so I was just kind of like, how do you handle that? So I just kind of wished her all the best, and I was like, right, okay. Um, and it kind of made me feel like, actually, this whole situation, I just want to get away from everything right now. So I told my boss, like, I need to bow out. I need to bow out. And before I did that, I looked into some other options for myself. I can still work at a school quite close by, or in a more flexible kind of way, and I can go back to my old job. And Yeah. Um, and that would be fine because honestly, I was so happy in my previous work. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And then I was actually looking into becoming a reverend because that was my first ambition when I left high school. I wanted to become a reverend. So I looked into the process, and it's kind of like what I did when I was 17, except I didn't really understand what was happening when I was 17 because I don't know how into it actually was. But I understand now that you go away to these sort of like conventions almost, and then while there, you get interviewed for the ministry that you want to have, which would be word and sacrament, and then something like that anyway. And then they'll tell you if they'll accept you as a minister and then what kind of training they might want to put you through. Usually, you need a Bachelor of Divinity, which is a 3 year course. But if you're a mature student, you might only have to do slightly less, like some postgraduate certificate type thing. I don't know. But I'm quite interested in that because that's where my passion is. I love to talk about spiritual matters and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think the Church of Scotland would be an all right avenue. I know it's got dodgy traditions and stuff, but it's quite open-minded to the point that I feel like I could work in it. So that's what I'm thinking there. And thank you, MirrorX T8. I think I have, to be honest with you, found someone special. Because while that Mormon Italian person has decided to leave my life, there's another person that came into my life too, um, with a similar name, and except she's Scottish, and yeah, she's cool. She's a high school teacher, and she's lovely. She's really, really lovely, and that's the kind of person where you know where you are with them. Like you feel comfortable in their presence, and it's just like you're just like passing a ball of joy between each other. You know, that's that kind of thing. But the thing is, I'm that way where I tend to be more attracted to things that are harder to reach. I tend to be more attracted to things that are more difficult to get at. Like um, I don't know, just someone that's quite different from myself. I find that just so intriguing. So I don't know. I think I make life difficult for myself in those kinds of ways. But I do. I would like to have more of that kind of like time just to reflect on spiritual things. I think that's the most important point of life, isn't it? I think that's the stuff that ultimately matters. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna stop teaching for a while. I mean, I bought a gym. I've got a gym in the other room that I haven't used. I'm 2 stone heavier than I was a couple of months ago. It's insane. You know what I mean? I needed to get myself fit. As I was kneeling down in my class today, I haven't had anything like this happen in months. I was just leaning down, looking over some notes and stuff while the kids were away singing nativity songs. And then I had a wee bit of a cough, and it kind of put my heart into a series of palpitations, and I just kind of freaked out. I can sometimes have wee bouts of anxiety, and I just the rhythm wasn't coming under control within what I would consider to be an acceptable uh, timeless limit. So I was like, "Oh, come on, stop dying." Okay, so I just kind of had to take myself away, and then my mentor saw I was having a hard time, and I was like, "I'm all right. I think I'm just going to die." And she's like, "You're not going to die. Come with me." And she took me in the staff room and gave me a drink of water, and I was like, "Right, maybe I won't die today." Um, no, I just made me feel like crap because I'm like, oh gosh, this is yeah. I feel really stressed out in this environment. I need to get out of here and just get myself into a happier headspace. So that's what I'm gonna do. Literally, I'm sat in this shirt, and it might look like it's a nice fit from the shoulders down, but my stomach, like that way where buttons are all kind of like the buttons are like so pressed out. That's what's going on. I think this is a slim fit shirt. It's like I'm gonna explode out of this shirt. It's like that way. I just nah. This isn't right. It's not right. Yeah. So the Euphrates, the Euphrates. Okay, it's clearly symbolic as this was the boundary between the covenant people and like Babylonia and that which is outside. The only other thing to look at for me would be the 1,000 year reign and stuff like this, you know, like Satan getting bound up and all the rest of it. That'd be another point to look into. I think this is more just a kind of hangout session, really. You know, like yeah, this is going to be like comment driven. So if you've got things to say them. If you want to share experiences. Let's just make this a kind of what would you call it? A pastoral video. Do you have any Christian friends to talk to? Did you lose many when you became a full preterist? It depends, Dan. I don't know where you're from, but if you're from the United Kingdom and you tell people you're a full preterist, they'll think you've just told them you support a football team or something like that. Nobody has any clue. I would be very surprised if I turned around and said to someone, I'm a full preterist in the United Kingdom, and they had the slightest clue of what I was talking about. If I said that in America, I'd probably get, I'd probably get some looks like, what are you talking about? But probably a few more Americans would know what I'm talking about. They'd be like, oh, you're a heretic. You're one of those. The preterism, it's growing, but it's not that widespread. No, I lost friends when I first stated I was a Christian. That's more likely to happen in the UK because being a Christian is just kind of like weird and peculiar. You know, why would you be a Christian? And then, I mean, it can be tolerated, but not the way I was. I was very much outspoken about it. I was a bit of an apologist among my friends and on social media and stuff. And they just didn't have time for it. They just thought, what's happened to Willie T? Why is he gone all strange on us? And people kind of distanced themselves from me. And that's fine. I mean, that's not the case anymore. I mean, people have just grown up and went their own ways. And, when my brother passed away, lots of friends from, you know, the past, the before times were getting in touch. So, yeah. No, I never really lost friends for being a full preterist. Mirix T8, great work, brother. I've been meaning to read the full Bible. I have a good translation of the New Testament by David Bentley Hart. However, the Old Testament what Old Testament translation would I recommend? I've got my brother's Bible here. As you can see, it's seen better days. But you always say that, an unclean Bible means a clean soul. But again, this thing has just had like some coffees, mugs. You shouldn't rest a drink on a Bible. That seems a little bit disrespectful. I don't know. This was awarded to my brother by one of the ministers that came through, and it's a New Living Translation. Now, if I was to recommend a translation of the Bible, my favorite is the New King James Version. And again, I'm not a King James only person because that's madness, but the New King James is just, I don't know, man. I just like the language, because it retains some of the old King James, I don't know, kind of way of speaking, the the same sort of rhythm, but it's more modern language, and so it's easier to say and to read. So yeah, the New King James is my kind of go-to. I don't know if it's the best. It's just a force of habit. I think why that happened was I did come across King James only people, these sort of purists, and so I bought a bunch of little King James Bibles. But then after a while, I was like, these things are so hard to read. If I was to give these out, if I was to distribute these, people would be put off because the language is too difficult. Now, I also have here what's called the Hallelujah Scriptures, which was a project made by Alan Horvath. Alan Horvath. I think it's Horvath. Alan Horvath. You can find him on YouTube. He's a kind of old country songwriter type guy. And he kind of put this thing together. Look, this has got little scriptures in it. It says, I don't know what that says. Oh, it's got, this is just like some of the old history stuff. So 1,290 days to abominable occurrence, 3.5 years. Eleazar Zealot, John killed priest Simon Bar Garrick, factions, Titus let them fight among themselves, killed people on altar, like pig's blood on altar, no longer fit for God. After being sepulch for he bodies of these own people. Oh, after being the sepulchre for the bodies of his own people, Josephus. Yeah, it's just, this is just like some wee history notes to talk about preterism and why it's true. But I recommend this. I mean, go for it. No, I don't recommend it really. I mean, it's fine. He's just tried to retain some of the Hebrew language, the odiot. Like, so instead of saying Yahweh, this book has this symbol here, which is supposed to be pronounced Yahweh. Yahweh, like the wind, like the spirit. That's the way that guy says it. I don't know, man. Who cares? Who cares? I've also got an account on my Bible, which is lots of translations. Yeah, I like to just pull up lots of translations. I go into Bible Hub and I'll find the scripture and then I'll read it in all the different translations. I always kind of gravitate towards the Young's literal, though. If ever I want to get the true essence of something, I've placed a lot of faith in Mr. Young and his literal translation. Oh, Portsmouth. Aye. Yeah, I suppose it depends. I suppose even in the UK, if you operate in church circles, then you will lose friends. That's true. I just don't operate in those kinds of factions. But you do have lots of different churches, the Church of Jesus of Nazareth, the Baptist churches, Church of Scotland, the Free Church of Scotland, the Catholic Church, the evangelical churches. There's a lot of things that a lot of different sects you can find yourself in Scotland and the UK. That's true. And then they'll be kind of more attuned to preterism and things like that. They're more likely to go against you. We've got someone there from South Australia. You ever seen the Peep Show? Not Peep Show necessarily, but Mitchell and Webb. I like the little mousy faced one more than I like the other one. I think the other one's Robert Webb and the other one's David Mitchell. And they do this skit where they are playing like, I don't know, sailors, captains, and uh, number one, uh, first officer, and they land on these new islands and they name them. And I just think it's it's just a really really funny skit where they end up in Australia, and then the guy's like, you know what this place reminds me of? Wales. And then the first officer's like, really? Wales? Because it's so warm and so different, He's like, oh, of course, not North Wales, South Wales. This place reminds me of New South Wales. I had my membership taken away from me when I became a full preterist because it went against the 1689 Baptist Confession. The church completely turned its back on me, which was hard to take. Yeah, man. Well, look, I had a friend from Australia. I had a preacher friend from Australia, Rob Cartledge. Yeah, I think that's his name, Pastor Rob Cartledge. If you look him up on YouTube, you'll find him. And him and I got on famously well, like so well. Like he considered me one of his wee cronies, you know what I mean? And then I got into just different things, like questioning different things, and it just really caused a lot of friction between us. Uh, I think he still considered me to be an all right person, but he really found it hard to reconcile the division in our beliefs, and so I just kind of fell out of, friendship. Really, kind of. I still wish that guy all the best. Um, yeah, it's a wee shame when that happens. Yeah, sometimes churches act weird, especially with views like mine. I've been trying to find a priest that has similar views to talk to, but it's difficult. It can be a lonely walk, you know. But I think that's it. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. I've got this little thing here, right? I bought this, and I said the day I wear it, like whenever I put this on to wear it, it's gonna mean something. You know, it's gonna be a very significant thing. I know it's just like a wee necklace type thing, but I wanted to symbolize a more um loyal and faithful walk, you know. While I still feel a little bit immature and prone to mistakes, I don't want to wear this. But when I do wear it, and I know wearing a cross doesn't appeal to everyone, but I like this little one. It's got like the Lord's Prayer kind of on it here. Um, and I'd like to wear this one day when I finally put all my, my house in order kind of thing, you know. Um, it's just really difficult navigating this life, you know, because there's certain things I've told myself that I want out of this life, and one of them would be to find a partner, someone I could be with, you know. And it's hard to find someone and not feel like you're, you know, am I being too liberal with my understanding on things? It's tricky because this girl I was telling you about, this high school teacher, who I think is we have great chemistry. You know, she reacted really negatively to Christianity in one of our conversations. You know, and I wasn't going to use that opportunity to then come out and preach the gospel to her. I'm gonna I'm gonna, but I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I'm not just gonna spring it on her. Goodness knows if I start studying for a Bachelor of Divinity degree, it's gonna come up. But I don't know. Um, it just makes life all that more complicated, and I hate that. I just wanna relax. You know, I just wanna relax into something beautiful and lovely. You know, I don't know. I don't think you need to have a relationship for that though. I'm a wee bit disillusioned by the world and what it has to offer now. You know that? I really am. I used to think the world was a place in which you could find pleasure, but now I don't. I think it's a false pleasure. You know, I read about these old philosophers that speak about higher and lesser pleasures, and it used to be like just a weird trick of the mind to think of these things in different strata. But for seeing it through spiritual eyes, I get it. Like I genuinely feel like there's certain things in this world that they just where they used to be so appealing, they're not appealing anymore. The things that matter most now are like, you know what you're saying there, Mirror XT8. It's these talks. It's just chilling out and communing with your brothers and sisters and just, you know, having a genuinely good time. This is I'm not calling this a genuinely good time, but there's genuinely good times to be had. I'd love it if we could all just sit out round a bit of fire, you know, and talk about things and, you know, yeah. Aye. There's a girl I know, sorry, there's a guy I know who is large and has a really beautiful girlfriend. It's what on the inside, and I believe there is someone for everybody here or in heaven. That's true, man. That's true. Just because you don't have a relationship in this world doesn't mean you're not going to have a relationship. You could have the most profound relationship ever. You know, that relationship with God, which is connection to everything. You know, that's a much more profound relationship. And in God, we find that we are all related. We're all part of this one spirit. You know, the biological um, means of reproduction is it's like a wee gimmick. You know what I mean? It's a wee gimmick. It's a very beautiful thing, but there's another spiritual side to it. You know that it's mind blown. I think absolutely mind blown, where we see that we're all connected and that love is the substance of all we're being. So if there's people out there who can't have children, they shouldn't despair. You know, because we're all each other's family, and I think that'd be such a beautiful thing for us all to take to heart and to just go through life with that understanding. And I'm trying to see that more. I really am trying to see that more, so that when this person rejected me in my company today, there was a wee moment of sadness where I felt, oh, okay. But I didn't let it get to me, because I know that was a person with their own issues and their own hang-ups and stuff like that. And I hardly presented myself as a perfect person either, I'm sure. And I just want them to be happy. I just want them to find the peace and whatever it is they need to find. Yeah, I just want what's best for people, really. So yeah, I don't know. Like maybe I could make this a more high octane video. Let me just down this martini rosso, and I'll get it going. No, I'm kidding. I mean, some people, I'm certainly going to change my diet soon. I don't want to consume as many carbohydrates, but I don't know how many carbohydrates are in martini rosso. No, probably a couple. It's probably quite a sweet drink. I've had this in my room for a while. I don't know what it's going to taste like. Let's see. It tastes like memories. You ever notice that like an alcoholic beverage can have a connection to a time and a place that just makes it seem like the most off-putting thing in the world? But that doesn't taste like that. That tastes okay. But I've kind of went off alcohol as well. Remember when I was talking about material things giving pleasure? Alcohol can be fine, but I feel like I've eaten so much pizza and so much alcohol recently. I need to change that. Let's see. Let's see what's going on in YouTube today. The 700 Club is a channel I've subscribed to. And I don't know why. I don't know why I've done that. The Why Guy. The Why Guy is someone I subscribe to as well. He's got a wee modest channel. He might be worth checking out. The Why Guy. Who should I pray to? That's a good question by the 700 Club. Who should we pray to? Should we pray to God the Father? Should we pray to Jesus Christ? Should we pray to saints? I haven't done much study in that. So I'm just gonna leave that one with you. Christ is King. What is the blasphemy of the Holy Spirit? What is the blasphemy of the Holy Spirit? That's a good question. Just like rejection of the Spirit. Is that what it is? The Olivet Discourse, Jesus, John, and the Antichrists. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say. I think it's just like a kind of hangout video. If anyone has any more comments they want to add in, please go for it. But yeah, I mean, I'm 30 years old. I'll be 31 soon enough. I just want to try some different things now. It's like my brother's passed away, and I just feel like I want to do something significant or a bit more creative with my life. I don't want to just live a conventional life. I don't think that's in the cards for me. So I think I'll just do something. I'll try the kind of minister route, and then I'm gonna try to do something creative. I talked about that improv club, because she was in that improv club. Julia, I'm just gonna name her. Just gonna name drop her now. Julia, man. Right. So she's in this improv club, and I was getting interested in it. And now that she said this, I can't go to the improv club anymore because it'll be awkward. No, let me tell you something. I'm gonna go to that improv club. Not now, like a wait, like a half a year or something like that, give her a chance to leave. But if she's still there in half a year, then I don't care, man. I'm going in because I've got a wee interest in that. But I also like to go back into that acting academy I was in because that opened doors for me. Um, I quite like entertainment, you know that I do. I quite like entertainment, so I'd like to try that again because I got in a wee Scottish comedy show called Burniston, and it was just a wee fun time. It was quite exciting for me, you know, because I'd always had this wee appreciation of television and entertainment and that. So I got to rub shoulders with some Scottish comedians, Frankie Boyle, and whoever the cast of Burniston are. I'm still not sure. But I did meet them and they invited me to their wee rap party. But I didn't go to the rap party because I had a prior engagement in Newcastle. So I had to take myself to Newcastle instead. And I threw away my career. I threw it away, so I did. But I don't know. I just like to see what I can do with my time now. I'm supposed to go into a radio show in Glasgow for an interview on mental health. So I need to study up for that. And I'll use that as a platform. I'll use that as a platform to launch my career in entertainment. Like, Mr. Taylor, you're being incredibly selfish with this interview. Why are you trying to sell yourself as a comedian with this very serious subject matter? Like, I don't know. Nah, I want to handle that with a lot of poise and grace. So yeah, that's just about the issues. But I don't know. I don't know what to do. I uploaded my videos, didn't I? Uploaded my videos. Um, just some camera shots and stuff like that from America, and then from like England and stuff. So that was good. I just wanted to get it off my camera because I'm probably gonna have to clear out my camera because it's run out of memory. And I just like that. I just like those places, you know. I just like going somewhere new. And I want to keep doing that. I want to keep pushing to go to new places, actual places, and more figurative places. Um, One of the videos I called "Exasperated Scottish Photographer," because I tend to find it when I'm filming something, I usually want peace and quiet because I'm like, right, I'm going to film this here, and I just want the shot and an ambient sound. But I don't tell people, can I have studio silence, please, or whatever. I just start filming, and then if somebody talks, I get a bit like, oh, come on, man, I wanted this quiet for this shot, you know. So on two occasions there, I just felt like people need to stop talking right now, and that's something I'm not going to miss as a teacher. Like, I have good rapport with my kids, so I can get away with saying certain things to them, you know, like I'll just be right in their face and say, "Stop talking." Like I'll shout into their face and they'll just look at me like and they'll start grinning and like, oh my goodness. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really loved working in that school. I really loved my class, but I'm just not I'm just not there right now. I can always go back to it, but I just don't want to do it right now. I put on 2 stone. I don't feel particularly healthy. I've burnt myself out, so I'm gonna stop. Um, this is some of the work that one of the kids did for me. This says, "He is Sonic dot X. He is creepy as hell. He is God." Is that not the most scary thing in the world? Like a child made this. This is Sonic dot X. He is creepy as hell. He is God. Like a 6-year-old child, the Antichrist made me this. Yep. Oh my goodness. That's why I try to teach them religious and moral education. You know, that's why I tried to push for that. What else do we have here? Oh yeah. So these are like little moral exercises I tested children. This is the next generation, folks. This is what they're like. So the situations are: will you help me do the shopping, Simon? And Simon's thinking, I want to go to Paul's house. Even still, they would help. Do you think I could join the football team? And then the person's thinking, she's better than me. I might lose my place. And the person wrote, not help. But that's good, you know what I mean? I don't want every kid to be like an angel. I want people to come out with this kind of stuff so we can talk about it in class. Be like, right, so you wouldn't let a better player join the team because you might lose your place. And then we'll talk about that. Like, okay, we get that. But, you know, that's not a cool thing to do. It's such a nasty wee thing to do. And then trying to, you know, make a wee lesson out of that. Oh, I don't agree with this either. I got into trouble for this because there were some Christian parents at the school, and this stuff didn't go down well. Is Pennywise real? Is Pennywise real? And then people are drawing Pennywise the clown. So it says Pennywise. Pennywise comes as red does and helicus you. He has red roar and red bill ons and jur and his usrub him, and he is akulutun, and he is very, 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 very really red. So that is a haunting tale. It's a haunting tale full of vivid description. I love these little. I made them make all these little short stories because it was the only way really to get them to write was to like storyboard and stuff like that, you know. Because they loved to put in their own little illustrations. So you give them the opportunity to do their own little illustrations, and then usually they'll happily write a wee story for you. So this is someone's wee story here. There's no writing on this one. It's just it's a guy sitting down, and then maybe that's supposed to be Pennywise. I don't know. These are supposed to be Halloween stories. Poison water, and everybody buy, and all the house is brack down. So the house breaks down due to the poison water. I like this one. I was scared when I walked into the dark woods. I saw a witch. I'm very careful just in case there's... That's all right. I hear a creepy laugh from in the other room, and it was a witch, and she turned me into a frog, and she also made me into a ball, and she turned me into her black cat. See, when you have the word "and" many times, that's called polysyndeton. That's the only thing I remembered from higher English. Polysyndeton. That's the repetition of the word "and." I heard a creepy laugh from the other room. You'll float too, is it? Oh, that's quite a creepy one. So yeah, no, I'm going to miss this. You know, I'm going to miss these people's the wee daft stories. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel a little bit. Like I could get more like into things, but no, I'm not really feeling it tonight. I just thought I'd make a wee video session on the Euphrates River and then try and chat a little bit, just hang out. I think what I might do is I might even delete this video and then make a proper like Euphrates River and maybe a video on the millennial reign, you know, the 1,000 years. I think I'll do that instead of leaving this thing up, which is a wee bit rambly, just because I've got a lot on my mind. I was going to go out tonight, just to catch up with some friends, but yeah, no, I just thought I'd chill out, jump on here, just do a little bit of talking. Thank you very much, Mirror. I hope I do find a nice wee job somewhere. I've like my old manager. He's always willing to take me back, and I really love that wee job. It's just a great way to save money and then do things I like to do. Get a new computer, get a new camera, get some editing software. You know, maybe try and do a little bit more with my channel. That'd be cool. I tried to make a live video on my phone, and I was told I couldn't do it because you have to have 1,000 subscribers to stream live on your phone. So I'm going to have to go into other people's channels now and leave provocative comments like other Christian channels and be like, futurism's a heresy, it's not right, come and see my channel. So I don't know, I'll stir the hornet's nest a little bit and see, and then maybe one day I can do some streaming from my phone. Anyways, yeah, I'm just rambling. I'm just rambling, guys. Um, it'd be better if I could pull other people in. I just don't have the tech savvy, you know. I'd pull other people into the chat, and we could have a big conversation. A big conversation. Right. I'm gonna go. I've been eating a lot, man. I've been eating a lot of food. I don't mean to eat so much, but I've been eating so much food. Comfort eating, you know. Okay, I better go. Otherwise, I'll just sit here and talk to myself all night, or you know, rant. Thank you very much for watching. As I say, the main point of this video, I wanted it to be like on the Euphrates River. So I'll make that video again and make it a bit more pointed and concise, and then I'll add some detail in there about the millennial reign too, because these are the most outstanding points. These are the ones that people want to have addressed. You know, and people don't find there's a satisfying answer to. So I'll just get into that. That's what I'll do. Okay. All right. Monday. Yeah. Absolutely Monday. It's so Monday right now. I think. Is it still Monday in Australia? Probably. I don't know. I'm not a wizard of time. I can't tell these things. All right, I'm going to go now. Going to head out. Yeah, thank you very much for joining me in this video. As I say, I won't leave this one up. It was just a wee hangout sesh. Okay, talk to you guys later and God bless. Thank you.